My name is Viola Yip. I'm a composer, performer, sound artist, instrument builder. In my personal practice, I like to build instruments that explores the opportunities for alternative machines, like how to build different unusual machines to understand the relationships between body, movements, space, and materials in real time, and how we learn these hidden relationships through sounds.
My name is Nicola Hein, and I'm a sound artist, guitar player, composer, electronic musician, programmer, and I'm very interested in working with things that do have a behavior. And those things can be intermediate kinds of systems, or interdisciplinary works, or they can be purely musical works. But I think a lot of what I do is really about emergence and about the question what happens on stage, what happens also in installations, in interaction, for example, with the audience, or in interaction with the space.
When we play together, we are Transsonic. We have been performing duo since 2018. When we play, we are very much interested in playing at the intersection of intermediate translation. So a lot of our work focuses on building instruments and building musical performances around sound and light. Tomorrow is our newest set with lasers, and we turned lasers and use them as a speaker that carries an audio signal. And these audio signal in the form of laser being received on the solar panel, which perform as microphones. And we develop a performative set with laser feedback, where we handheld lasers and develop an audio visual set.
Both of us have two lasers, and they are handheld, and therefore the feedback becomes very performative, and it has a very, let's say, embodied nature in the image that it creates, or the image is very much related to the embodied movement, which is really different from, I would say, standard approaches to lasers with like fixed laser systems, because here they are really like instruments that we move with, and it's a lot about the question, how do we move together in space to create images which at the same time create the sound. And we explore that kind of field, and also at the same time use a machine learning approach which live trains on our playing while we play with the laser feedback instruments, and then starts playing together with us. So it's a little bit like we explore a space, and the space itself becomes interactive and becomes sort of thickened, you could say, with what we have explored so far, and we develop this space together with an interactive system, which at the same time also spatializes the sound that we play. So what we do is being put into the system and is specialized and starts to develop a behavior by itself, which then changes over time and gives us a chance to, on the one hand, have a completely different experience of playing together in space, because it's really about creating visual space together, and at the same time we create an auditive space together which has a behavior on its own. We were also exploring, okay, what happens with breaking the light in a very analog way. So we use like Fresnel lenses now.
Like the refracting the light.
Yeah, and to really be able to bend the light, and that is, while it is a very analog and very straightforward solution, it's very interesting how performative the lenses themselves and the interplay becomes with those.
Yeah, that for me personally, I definitely see that when you work with an object like a Fresnel lens, when they refract the light differently, when you can actually see it, and that puts my body and the space in a very dynamic relationship that you can actually see, and that for me as a performer is also a very fun part. Focus on how the metaphorical translation, how we as a musician, we look at light and see this is the quality that is a musical quality. What is the musical quality in the light? And when, let's say I play electronics, I look at the light, how I can take these light information when I see them and I turn them into imagination of sounds and react them and play them into sound, and or how I turn them into light, and going back to the light and look at the light in a musical way and translate them. So using sort of music, putting the music in the background but as a backbone of doing light, or I can look at the light and play electronics so that I can hear it as sound. And it's a duo for us, how we see these things. When we say it's important, equally important, doesn't mean that they're exactly equal. There are aspects of things that it just cannot be an equal sign, but we see them with equal weights.
I would say for any kind of art form that works with an open form, to take this quote from Umberto Eco, you always rely on a response to an audience in a way that is very different from, let's say, playing completely written music, because you always pick up what people sort of feel like, or at least you have a hypothesis about it. And there is a kind of response to that, of course, as a musician, and you experience something together with the audience, which I think is a very essential part of the whole practice.
It's not just audience, even tech crew how they put in the energy into the preparation. Let's say the tech crew and everybody, when they bring in energy, you just unconsciously pick it up. And so they always bring in like really strong energy. What I'm trying to say is that it's not just audience, it's everyone who just bring in their energy into the space, actually contribute in the way we play.